Welcome to the Think Marketing Podcast, the #1 podcast to help you grow your influence on YouTube and then turn that influence into a high impact and a high profit online business. My name is Heather Torres, and I want to welcome you if you are new here to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe so that you never miss an upload that happens every single Tuesday. And I'm excited because at the end of this episode, I'm going to tell you how you can win an all-access pass to our Grow with Video Live conference happening in the fall of 2021. So stay tuned to the end of today's episode. Now, let's dive into today's featured content where Sean Cannell goes into, is it too late to get started on YouTube?
Is it too late to start YouTube in 2021? The answer is yes and no. And I'm going to be explaining in detail in this episode, but here's some facts that you need to know about YouTube. Number one is that YouTube is the most popular video platform on the web. And over the last decade, YouTube has seen unprecedented growth. That growth has only been accelerated by the events that happened in 2020 with lockdowns and the pandemic that changed people's behavior in unimaginable ways, with the majority of people staying at home and watching even more content on screens. Fact, YouTube is still the second most visited website in the world and the second most used social network. Fact, YouTube hosts over 2 billion logged in users every month. That's almost 1/3 of the internet. And the consumption for videos is high because there's more users and YouTube is getting billions of hours of videos being watched and billions of video views every single day. So is it too late to start YouTube? On a surface level, it's not. I mean, there's so much action there. We're going to look at some of the enemies that could hold us back, but is there competition? Sure. Is there going to be challenges? Absolutely. But anything worthwhile in life is uphill. It's going to take energy. It's going to take putting in the time to do the work. But when you consider how big the audience is, when you consider how many people on YouTube, you really have massive opportunity ahead of you if you overcome the 7 areas we're going to discuss in this video. But as far as why it is or it isn't too late to start YouTube, I think Henry Ford, the famous inventor of the Ford motor car, said it this way: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Is it too late to start YouTube? Well, if you think it is, then it is for you. Is it too late to start YouTube if you think you can and you think you could still succeed? Well, then for you, it's not too late. Because now that I've been on this platform since 2007, the first channel I started on YouTube was for my small church in a small town an hour north of Seattle. Every few years, people started asking this question. I remember 2012, people were like, man, is it too late to start YouTube now? It's 7 years old. 2015, people are like, it must be too late to start. 2018, people are like, is it too late to start YouTube? And there was 2 types of people. Those a couple years ago that said, it's too late. And then there were those who started, and today they have reached their YouTube goals. Of course, some are still building, but I think of people that just started in the last couple years. We just got a message. I got a DM from Cass, who has a career development channel. She said, hey, I'm excited to join one of our mission to help 10,000 people go full-time on YouTube. Mark me as one of the 10,000. I'm quitting my job. And she sent me the date. I was like, this is crazy. And guess when she reached that goal? Yes, in 2021. When did she start YouTube? Just in the last couple years. There's people that have started in just the last year that have still grown. So whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And what I've learned is that there's some myths and there's really some excuses that prevent you from the life and the YouTube channel you want. And that if we can overcome these, that we actually will be able to reach our YouTube goals this year. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, said this: complaining is not a strategy. You have to work with the world as you find it, not as you would have it to be. Off from the top, I want to encourage you, if you are even in places and having conversations and spending a lot of energy just being like, oh man, it's too late. Oh, that ship sailed. Oh man, maybe if I would have started YouTube last year, it would have worked. Man, is it too late now? Man, I've been watching YouTube videos about if it's too late now for the last 10 hours. I've been spending the last month just watching other content, pondering and wondering if I should post videos. Well, guess what? Imagine if you invested all that time into actually building something. And he said, listen, you have to work with the world as it is, not as you would have it to be. Was it easier to start and build a YouTube channel in 2015? Probably. When's the best time to plant a tree? 5 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? Today. Like, it was probably easier, but there's also advantages today. So let's get into these things. The reality is this: you can have excuses or you can have results. You just can't have both. And so here's some of the excuses or myths or things I hear people say of why they can't start YouTube. And we're going to disprove all of them so you can crush your YouTube goals this year. Number one, I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know how to start a YouTube channel. I don't know how to use my camera. I don't know what I would film on. I don't know what I would talk about. You cannot say, I don't know how in 2021. Did you know that our cell phones today have more computing power than all of NASA back in 1969 when they placed 2 astronauts on the moon? Are you kidding me? Now, my wife doesn't actually believe that event happened, but we know that it did. Here's the deal. NASA placed 2 people on the moon, and your smartphone has more power than the technology they had then. You can start a YouTube channel and figure out how. Did you know that a Maasai warrior on a mobile phone in the middle of Kenya has better mobile communications than a US president did 25 years ago? Yeah. He's on it, and if he's on a smartphone with Google, he has access to more information than the US president had 15 years ago. I don't know how. Give me a break. You can find out how. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's Google, there's an answer. Where there's YouTube, you can learn. And think about it. Even without all the other channels, just in the world of Think Media. Like, why aren't you sitting down, getting a notebook, getting a pen, getting focus, shutting out distractions, and watching? We have like a free How to Create Videos college available to you on YouTube. It's called Think Media. And you're going to learn from Nolan and Omar and Heather and Tony, breaking down how to use cameras and how to get better lighting and how to take thumbnails and how to edit. Are you kidding? I don't know how. Can we just label it what it is? It's an excuse. And not knowing is a myth that is holding you back. And many other people. Listen, number 2, I don't have a good idea and there's too much competition. I don't have a good idea. Or maybe it's this one. You know what? Someone stole my idea. My friends, there's nothing original anymore. You know, King Solomon said this like 3,000 years ago. He said there's nothing new under the sun. Now, obviously, there's new things like now there's an app called Clubhouse where you can lose 5 to 10 to 15 hours real quick. And maybe it was good, or maybe it distracted you from actually building the things you should be focusing on and crushing your priorities. But here's the deal. I don't have a good idea. Michael Dell, the founder of Dell Computers, said this: ideas are a commodity. Execution of them is not. It's not too late to start YouTube if you commit to taking massive action. There's tons of ideas. There's a million good ideas. In fact, I struggle with idea syndrome. I got 20 YouTube channels I want to start today. There's so many dang good ideas and so many ideas that either have happened or haven't happened yet, whatever. The real game, though, is the execution of the ideas. And if you put a decent idea into action, you're going to beat everybody else who's just thinking all day long about whether or not they have a good idea. And here's actually an encouraging fact about rising competition on YouTube. Crowded markets equal lots of potential viewers and customers. Yeah. If your idea is already on YouTube and a lot of people are getting views around that idea and that concept, that's proof that there's interest in that. Man, I'm stunned. I got friends that do what are called faceless channels. And they've learned that sometimes they got 10 or 20 or 30 faceless channels that are in niche topics with B-roll and voiceovers, and they're not in the actual videos. And they've learned that there is an endless appetite for good content around topics that people are passionate about. An endless appetite. That sometimes they've got multiple channels about the same thing and people just watch channels, they watch video after video after video. It makes sense when you love something, when you're into something, when you're obsessed with something, good content will always win. Cream always rises to the top no matter how many cups of coffee you poor. You just got to put out good content, and crowded markets equal lots of viewers and lots of customers. And here's the good news about ideas is success leaves clues. I would actually challenge you that if you want to win on YouTube this year and start, put a new spin on a proven idea. Don't be looking for an absolutely original idea. Like, by the way, if you got something really amazing, like go for it. You feel passionate about it. But chances are, if it's so unique and so different and like zero other people are doing it, chances are no one's interested in it. And that's going to be a harder YouTube channel to pioneer. The best path is putting a new spin, your unique personality on a proven idea, a proven topic, a proven niche, a proven niche on YouTube. Number 3, let me know if you're guilty of this one. I don't have enough time. I don't know if it's too late to start. I'm so busy. I don't know if I have enough time. Like, I just don't think I have enough time to build a YouTube channel. Listen, can we talk it straight? We've been talking straight, but can I tell it to you straight? You have the same 24 hours as Dave Ramsey, Oprah, Kanye West, Mr. Beast, Reese Witherspoon, and the most productive person you know. You got the same 24 hours. Like, I don't know about you, like you're not stopping the sun. You're not hitting pause on the clock. We all have the same 24 hours. The difference is how you use your time. Truth. Nobody is too busy. It's just a matter of priorities. Truth. If it is important to you, you will find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. I really believe this could be your year on YouTube. Sure, there's rising competition, but if execution is the game, you got to get disciplined. You got to start taking some responsibilities. You can either make excuses or you can get results. And meanwhile, while the majority, friend, are going to be making excuses and wondering if their idea is going to work or not, or wondering if they should start or not, or just debating if it's too late. Meanwhile, a small percent of people are going to be taking massive action, getting super disciplined with their calendar, getting super focused with their strategy, and putting massive action into their YouTube channel. And those are the channels that are going to grow. Another one that I hear, number 4, is I don't have connections. Man, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Man, if I only knew somebody big on YouTube, if I only had somebody to shout me out, that's not true. It's not a valid excuse today for one reason, because social media makes it possible to connect with just about anyone. Like, you can reach just about anyone and make strategic connections leveraging social media, but YouTube does not work because of connections. It works because of content. You're probably better off shutting yourself into a room and focusing on creating great content rather than making and even worrying about, I don't have connections. Focus on great content. Number 5, I'm too old. YouTube's just for the young whippersnappers. YouTube's just for the Gen Zers, the Zoomers. Okay, boomer, listen, you're not too old. Have you seen Dania Angelo's channel? Like, she's got like this My Kitchen to Your House channel where she cooks in her clay kind of stove kitchen. And she's definitely like in her legacy years. She's kind of like this really sweet grandma. I think about Gray Matters, my friend, who's got a Dottotech, has a show called Gray Matters. Guess what he teaches? He helps people with like affiliate marketing and webinars and online marketing, but he's talking to baby boomers. I think about Ryan's Toy Review. Like, he's on the other side of things. I think about that 5-year-old that's got like 8 YouTube channels in Russia. Like, there's people at every age and spectrum. And here's what I would challenge you with. If you can discover one person that's like you, reaching the goals that you have for yourself, you just lost the excuse. And you will be able to find any ethnicity, age, demographic, situation, disability, all of them. At this point on YouTube, every single excuse has been disproven by someone that is growing their channel right now. I'm not trying to say it's easy. I'm not saying that you're not going to have an uphill battle, but I am saying it's possible. And you got to remember that you're never too old to accomplish anything that you set your mind to. Author C.S. Lewis has this awesome quote. I love this. You're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. Stop just dwelling on, is it too late? I don't have enough time. Do I have a good idea or not? I don't know if I know how. I don't know if I have enough connections. No, like, it's never too late to start if you start today, and You get super disciplined, super strategic, super planned out, and you focus on execution, not just dreaming, pondering, and wondering if you should start or not. Number 6, I don't have enough money. Man, the rich get richer. You need money to start. If I had enough money, have you ever thought this or heard this before? No one ever gave me a shot. No one ever gave me an opportunity. Listen, excuses are a vulnerability to you. They might even be true, but they're not helpful. They're a waste of energy. They're a waste of time. And we can disprove this one. Number 1, because YouTube is free. Number 2, because if you're hearing my voice right now, chances are you're on a pretty nice smartphone. Chances are you're in a car with some kind of Bluetooth connection on some device. Chances are you're on a really nice laptop or PC that is fully capable of starting creating content. Like, YouTube is free. If you have a smartphone and access to the internet, you can start. This continually happens. And I've learned that it's actually not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. So if you think, man, I just don't have enough of a head start. Is it a fact that the expectation of production value on YouTube is rising this year? I think so. I do think that people want content that has good audio, good lighting, that they want content that's well edited, well organized. But man, when you start getting scrappy, when you start getting a little chip on your shoulder and you start thinking, man, where there's a will, there's a way. It's not about my resources, it's about my resourcefulness. I'm going to take my smartphone, shoot it golden hours so the lighting is perfect, stack it up on a box and use some duct tape in a quiet park so the audio is good, standing close to the phone so that they can actually hear good audio because I can't afford a mic yet, prepare my content and deliver something valuable. And I'm going to go to Starbucks and upload that video. I'm going to go to the library and upload that video. Oh, we're on lockdown. I'm going to sit in my car in front of somebody else's house and hack onto the internet and upload that video. I'm going to find a way to edit it on my phone, post it from my phone. I am going to watch Think Media's free video where Heather Torres breaks down how to shoot with a smartphone, edit on a smartphone, create a thumbnail on a smartphone, and upload from a smartphone. Again, if you got access to this content, I'm empathetic. If you are in a remote village, no internet, no power, no electricity, yes, it would be very difficult to grow on YouTube in that situation. But I have a feeling if you're listening to this, that's not your circumstances. So never say I don't have enough money. Get resourceful. And then number 7, and if we're honest, this is one I think we all struggle with at honestly every level. It's just I'm scared. It's the excuse of I'm scared. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of failing. Sean, if I'm honest, I'm not actually wondering if it's too late. I'm wondering though if I am going to be wasting my time by investing in a YouTube channel right now. I wonder if I try this and I fail, what is my spouse going to think? What's my family going to think? I wonder if I try this, I'm afraid of looking dumb. I'm afraid of even though I've been out of high school for 10 years, I'm afraid of what Sarah from high school is going to think about me and how she's going to judge me. Newsflash, Sarah doesn't even know what you're doing anymore. She's going through her own problems today and trying to figure out her own situation. She's not thinking about you, but you might be thinking about what other people are thinking and dealing with fear. Here's the deal. If I could be real with you, as soon as every year passes on YouTube, I think, is this going to keep going? What if YouTube gets shut down? What if another video platform emerges? What if? And guess what? I could spin myself out. I could worry and wander in anxiety for the next 5 weeks, wondering about possible scenarios. What good is even wondering what if? What if a meteorite hits the earth right now? Well, then we don't really need to worry about it, do we much? What if an EMP, hits and all the power goes down and all the servers? Well, yeah, we're going to be in a serious situation if that happens. What good is what if? Well, in the meantime, instead of asking what if, you could be focusing on building and maximizing today. I can't make you any promises. Nobody else that you watch on YouTube or listen to on a podcast can make you any promises about what tomorrow holds. But at the beginning of this episode, we broke down the opportunity, the audience, the fact that YouTube is only growing, the fact that it is at your fingertips to be able to create content, the fact that you can figure out anything, not just how to create a video, but how to make a good video, not just how to make content, but how to make good content, not just how to communicate, but to become a great communicator. If there's a will, there's a way, and there's ways to punch fear in the face, and you got to just press record. I love the cowboy, John Wayne, famous. He was in lots of Westerns, and it was kind of an actor that my stepdad, Phil, grew up with, and he always watched these John Wayne movies. One of John Wayne's quotes was, "Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway." Listen, you might be scared. What if I waste time this year? You might, but what's the alternative? If you do nothing, then you're going to have a whole lot of regret. And guess what if you're going to have is, what if I did something different in my past? You can't go back. All you have is today. What if you took action today? And what if we flip the what if? What if you reach 10,000 subscribers? What if you can call your boss and tell them that you're ready to go part-time? What if you're able to call your boss and say, "I'm giving in my 2 weeks"? What if you are getting emails and comments from people saying your content changed my life? What if you were able to buy that dream house? What if you were able to give to the causes that matter most to you? What if? There's so much waiting for you on the other side of fear. And meanwhile, most people are stuck wondering, what if? What if I try and fail? Here's the deal. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you're doomed if you don't try. It's not too late to start YouTube. 2021, it's not going to be too late to start YouTube in 2022 or 2023. Well, Sean, what if YouTube comes, and what if there's a takeover, and what if, well, for sure. I mean, of course there's always, but I think we can put the what ifs to the side and realize that, come on, there's a window of opportunity, but a lot of times the opportunity of a lifetime is missed if it's not seized during the lifetime of that opportunity. Now's the time to seize the opportunity of YouTube. And I think about one of the biggest YouTubers, Mr. Beast, who was in an interview, and they said, "What are you going to be doing for the next couple of years?" He goes, "For me, I could see it until about 2025, just this. YouTube's going nowhere. It's the dominant platform. No one can come close with the amount of library of content. No one can come close with the technological infrastructure. There continues to be more viewers. It continues to be refined as a platform. No other video platform's even close." Listen, everything you do in life is going to have a level of risk to it. The definition of entrepreneur, which if you're listening to this, you are an entrepreneur, is someone who takes on a disproportionate amount of risk to start a business. Someone who takes on a disproportionate amount of financial risk to build something. Of course, there's going to take risk, but I'll tell you this, there's a reason we're going all in on YouTube, not just because we've been here, but because it's the best platform. In fact, this year, we're actually narrowing our focus to get more focused on YouTube because it's the only platform where your content lives forever. It's the second largest search engine in the world. The algorithm is so dang powerful that you can create content today that will still impact people tomorrow. And when you really catch a vision for it, you start looking a couple years ahead and you go, dang, if I create really good content today, that's going to be feeding my kids 3 years from now. It's not too late to start YouTube. I am not saying it's going to be easy, but I am saying it's going to be worth it. And I want to encourage you to kill these excuses, kill the what ifs, and just put your blinders on and take massive action. Doesn't even matter if your idea is that good. Ideas are a commodity. Execution of them is not a commodity. If you want to be in the top 5% of YouTube creators, you just got to take action and stay consistent and persevere. So I encourage you, this is your year. Punch fear in the face, punch perfectionism in the face, and press record.
Wow, Sean really killed our excuses on that one. It really is whatever you determine it to be. Whether you think it is or you think it isn't, it's up to you. And he walked through so many of the excuses that we hear inside of our community when people are asking, is it too late? Have I missed the mark? Am I past the opportunity of this gold mine of YouTube? And while it does take work, There are so many internal excuses that we need to crush. And it really is all about remembering that no matter what you do, if you just stay committed, if you upload that next video, if you keep grinding, if you keep going, if you do the philosophy that I love, I will until, that you can really change your reality. You know, I have seen this happen firsthand with so many people who started from nothing and were able to not only just grow an online influence, but were able to quit their job. We're able to pay their mortgage. We're able to buy that fun thing or go on that fun trip or buy their dream house because they just stuck with it. So, is it too late to start? That question's for you. Are you ready to put in the time? Are you ready to put in the commitment? Are you ready to crush these excuses that Sean just laid out and go all in this year? Because I can guarantee you that yourself a year from now is going to wish that you had started. So I want you to grab your camera this week. I want you to press record and I want you to get that video uploaded, because if you hold back, if you keep waiting, it will always be too late for you to start. And we are going to keep this conversation going about crushing our excuses, going all in on YouTube at our annual conference, Grow with Video Live. And if you would like to rate and review this podcast, you'll be entered in to win one of our 3 all-access passes for this exclusive virtual event. Now, that means that you can win this pass and attend from anywhere in the world. All you need to do is rate and review this podcast on iTunes and then go to thinkmarketingshow.com for all of the details. I'll make sure to link everything down in the show notes below so that you have all that you need to enter in to win one of these 3 all exclusive passes to Grow with Video Live 2021. And when you rate and review the podcast, I get to read your review. And today I want to shout out Carrie. Carrie said, "Great content from Sean and Think Media. I've learned so much from Sean and the Think team over the last year. The content and training is always great, and this podcast is no exception. A must listen for impact-driven entrepreneurs." Carrie, I just want to say thank you so much for that content. You are really edifying exactly who we're talking to here on the Think podcast. We're talking to you, Carrie, the impact-driven entrepreneur. And I hope that this episode, all the episodes in the past, and all of the amazing content we have scheduled for you in the future, that's going to help you grow your influence with YouTube. And I can't wait to see, Carrie, another review in a year from now where you tell us all the impact that this podcast has helped you with. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Again, make sure you're subscribed wherever you're consuming this content from, and share it with a friend. If you've not yet shared this podcast with the creator in your life, I'm going to challenge you this week to share out this episode or an episode that has impacted you here from the podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.